Hi everybody, it's 314 Reactor here. Today we're going to be looking at Halo 2 again with Reshade on. This time we're going to be looking at a few different levels. We're starting off on everyone's favourite level, Gravemind. I am of course playing on easy because this level is horrendous on Legendary and I just want to show off the effects. You can see how to get this set up with Halo 2 in my previous video, which I'll link down below in the description. So let's get on with things. I'm using the same config as last time. So let's see how some of these areas look. So this is the starting area, where you unfairly start off against loads of brutes with nothing but a needler. And that's with the RT on. Let's crank it off. And back on. So as usual, you can see the extra shading in the background there, the extra lighting around there. People have noted it seems to make it more vibrant, but I think Halo 2 Anniversary is a pretty vibrant game anyway. Pretty much all Halo games should have some sort of vibrance to them, so I think that looks pretty good, especially when you're in a Covenant ship. It makes sense for things to be bright and vibrant. So let's look at the classic graphics. New graphics. And then new graphics with RT on. Looks really nice. Let's have a look at the lighting channel. So you can see everything that's going on there. You've got the shadowing in these bits. You've got the shadowing around the bodies there, around these bits up here. Very, very nice. So, let's see what else we can find. Here we are, the area where the Arbiter was judged. Let's have a look up at this bit. Let's go back here. There we go. This is with the RT off. And then we switch it on.
Meet you at the bottom, okay?
Lots of extra lighting there, shadowing, giving extra depth, and a lot of extra colour as well, which I quite like. Like I said, I think these levels should be colourful. And the extra shadowing behind those things there gives them a lot of extra depth. Just the extra ambient occlusion gives everything a hell of a lot more depth. Looks a lot better. Really, really nice. You got a little glow off there, the little purple glow around the bottom there. That just looks really good. And the shadowing off this little bit here, again, just gives it that depth that's just not there on the vanilla graphics. The remaster really, really is so nice. So this is with the RT on. And then we're switching it off. And then back on. See, with that global illumination, you can definitely see a lot more of that purple colour being reflected in that floor there. Down we go. Turn the RT off. And then back on. That is much nicer. Let's see what it looks like in the lighting channel, firing both these weapons. Oh, that's cool. That's a lot of lighting. So that's with the RT on, and then off, and then back on. It's just adding a ton of extra lighting on there. It's really adding to the lighting that's already there in game actually, but just making it look much more pronounced. It's really cool. So this is what I think Halo is all about. The lighting effects, the colours, how that's lighting up the area. If you look at the original graphics, something I always had a problem with was that unlike Halo 1, doesn't really light up your surroundings a great deal, which is just so disappointing because yeah, Halo 1, I mean there's a little bit of light on the ground but not much, whereas in the Anniversary graphics they really pump it up. You can see the light coming from the plasma as it flies forward, as it hits the wall, it lights up all around you. And I think the RT just plays into that even more, makes it look really, really good. Why they toned that down in the original Halo 2 graphics, no idea. Just want to see how the GI affects the lighting in this bit, because you've got the sort of mist there on the floor. So this with the RT on, and switching it off. Whoa. Back on. Yeah, that looks so much better. Especially that little pedestal, bit of extra shadowing behind it. Let's have a quick look in this area before I get seen. This is with the RT on, and then off. Alright, so this is one of the outside areas. Let's see how the lighting looks. Let's throw that away. So this is with the RT on, and this is with the RT off. And back on. So again, just more shadowing around the trees there. It's a lot less of a strong effect on the outer bits, but it does add a lot more shadowing these lower bits here. Let's check out the lighting channel. So yeah, you can see everything's going on here, all that's adding. The depth of the rocks, the shadowing, the extra muzzle flash from the plasma. Let's go to another level now. Alrighty, let's have a look at Uprising. This should be with the RT on, so let's have a look. Let's grab the lighting channel. Again, you can see plenty of the foliage, all shaded very, very nicely. You've got the GI bouncing the light from the foliage. You've got the ambient occlusion underneath it, giving much more depth. Here we're seeing that the crosshair is really showing up, which is not great, but it's not too noticeable. That is unfortunately just a result of how the RT works within Reshade. Let's get a view here. This is with the RT on, and then with the RT off. And then back on. That looks a lot better. I mean, it looks really flat without it. Really flat without it. And then with it. And again, you've got the lighter areas here where the sun's sitting, and then the darker areas in there where it's covered. The distant building there shouldn't be affected too much as we turn it off and on. Oh, there's a little bit. You can even see the trees there on the right, getting a bit of ambient occlusion. Let's flick over to the lighting channel quickly. So there appears to be a bit of a glow coming from the plasma sword there, which is cool, but it only appears to be in the distance. Close up, doesn't appear to be much. Kind of looks like it's lighting up this little inner archway. Let's go through all of the visuals. So let's go through old school Halo to new school Halo to new school Halo with the RT. So that's with the old graphics. New graphics. And new graphics with the ray tracing on. And again for this area. It's the old graphics. New. And then with the RT on. Very, very nice. Let's move on forward to another area. Let's have a quick look in this internal area here. So with the RT on. And switch it off. And then back on. Again, plenty of extra shading, shadowing, and increased lighting from that plasma. This gives it a lot more depth. The only thing that looks a bit weird is that area below that transparent area there. Lighting channel. Oh yeah. So here we have the old graphics, which looks a bit like cardboard. We've got the new graphics. And then the new graphics with RT enabled. Really nice. So let's go to the lighting channel here with these dual-wielded plasma rifles. Oh, look at that. Look how that It's just lighting up that entire cavern. Which is a bit extreme, really, but it looks cool. And there we go, to normal. So the RT on. And then off. This darkened area here. Switch the RT off. And then back on. See how much more natural the light looks coming from that light on the top left there? Back off. And back on. It just looks a lot more how much light that light would be lighting up this area with that kind of blue ambient glow. See, one thing I have noticed is that on the menu is that the ambient occlusion seems to go through the menu here, clipping through it there, and there. That's not too much of a big deal, it's just something to notice. I think it's just the way it handles it, it's just the way this is being drawn. I think it also means the effects will clip through the HUD as well. But it's not so noticeable, really. As well as the HUD on the lower left there, you can see the pink glow from the HUD affecting that wall there. So that's not perfect, but unavoidable. And not very noticeable. So let's take a look at another level. Let's have a look at High Charity, which is going to be very similar to Gravemind, but it's going to be a bit darker, a bit more atmospheric. Turn the RT off up here. And then back on. Oh, okay, so it screws up the grav lifts a bit.
I'll disable this lift once you reach the...
Because you can see geometry where you shouldn't be able to. So this area is nice and bright. This with the RT on. And then off. And then back on. So there's not too much of a difference there. It's just a bit of extra shading around those distant columns and stuff. Not too much of a difference. Again, let's check out the lighting channel. Yeah, so it's mainly just ambient occlusion there rather than any sort of lighting. Oh, there's a bit of extra glow down there though, where that power core is. Let's turn it off. And then back on. So yeah, it's just a bit of an extra glow down there. Nothing too much. Let's move on forward to a darker area. I really want to see how the flashlight works with the GI. So here we are in a little secluded dark bit. Very atmospheric here. Let's make sure we don't let anyone in. Just facing the door here. This is the RT on. And then we're switching it off. Not too much of a difference, just adds a bit of shading in there, a bit of extra glow. Which is pretty much what I'm hoping for. You want the darker areas to be a bit darker and the brighter areas to be a bit more glowy. And what I really want to see is the lighting channel. Oh yeah, look at that glow there and the glow there. Really nice. Let's turn on the flashlight. Okay, so the GI works really nice with the flashlight. Let's see. Yeah, let's see how that works in a bigger, darker area. Alright, so here we are in one of the darker, spookier areas of High Charity. This with the RT on. And they were switching the RT off. So as you can see, just like I thought, makes those lit areas below a lot more glowy, but shadowed nicely. And then adds in a whole bunch of ambient occlusion. Shows off some of that geometry some more with the extra AO, but don't think that's necessarily taking away from the image. It actually even darkens some of those lighter bits, especially that wall bit there and those bits there. Darkens them down a bit. And of course those areas under cover darken down a bit. So I think that gives it a lot more atmosphere. You may disagree. See what the flashlight's like. So the RT on. And then off. And back on. The flashlight actually looks a lot more natural with the RT on. As you can see there with the RT off, I'm shining it at the wall, and that bit there doesn't look quite shaded right. It doesn't quite look like the flashlight's light is blending nicely from that floor to the wall there. But then with the RT on, it looks a lot more natural the way the light's blending across there, and you've got a bit of a shadow going across there. The shadow's not completely accurate, but it's there. Because you'd expect the shadow to be deeper down in there at this angle. But instead it's just like completely there. So let's turn it off. Yeah, RT off. And back on. I think that is just there anyway, rather than being caused by the flashlight. Makes the flashlight a lot brighter, a lot more bloomier, and blends the lighting a hell of a lot better. In fact, let's have a look at the lighting channel while we're here. Ah yeah, that shadow is just there normally. Actually, it seems to be kind of caused by the crosshair as well, but then... Aha, yeah, so the shadow's there. Depending on the lighting around it. When you're up close, it's not really there, and you turn the light on, boom. So that adds quite a nice bit of depth, I think. And yeah, you've got the kind of nice bit of ambient occlusion there around the corner, and then turn that on. And then that whole wall gets occluded there from the light. Again, not completely accurate shadowing, but that does look pretty damn nice. And then yeah, when you shine the torch directly in there, that shadow's taken out. So let's check out the lighting channel on this. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at all that plasma lighting flying around. So that's with the RT on. Let's let them fire a bit more. Turn the RT off. It's really dark here. Let's turn the RT off. And back on. So again through here. Turn that RT off. Oh yeah, and then back on. Really darkens down the corners and stuff. Which really adds to the atmosphere. So we're through to a little open area here. Let's check this out. So this is with the RT on. And then the RT off. And then back on. Again, shadows those little plants nicely. Extra shadowing around the guns and bodies on the floor. Gives a depth to those little cavernous areas. Around here, that red light looks a bit better. Those white lights look a bit better. Thanks to the GI. Looks really nice. Lighting channel. It's really effective at darkening these closed off areas, like little caverns and under bridges and stuff. Looks really, really good. So let's have a look at the original graphics. Because it wasn't done with HDR lighting, it's really flat, not that dark, not that spooky. New graphics, a lot darker, a lot spookier, and then you chuck in the RT as well. And yeah, you get a lot more atmosphere on that one. Let's go back to this other dark area, see how it looks in the original graphics. Oh yeah, that looks pretty nasty. Yeah, the lack of HDR lighting really shows up here. Looks like you've got some clipping, I think. Horrible banding in the colours. Not very nice. New graphics, hell of a lot better. And then the RT on top of that, even better. Right, so I'm just looking at the shadowing here in the original graphics. So as you can see in the original graphics, there is no real-time shadowing going on behind that torch whatsoever. Let's flick over to the new graphics, and you've definitely got some real-time shadowing there, as you can see. It's not mega accurate, but it's there. And then when we turn on the shader, it adds a bit of extra real-time shadowing in. As you can see there, just above, you can see that little notch is making a shadow with the torch there. And as we go round, you can see there's a bit of shadowing extra there, and at the top, a bit tailing off. So for the most part, that's complementing and enhancing the real-time shadowing and lighting engine that's already in the Anniversary Edition. And if we turn the RT off, and then back on, you can see it's not entirely accurate. Doesn't work completely well with the real-time shadowing that's in the normal engine, but for the most part, it's a subtle addition to it. You can see that extra shadowing being applied. Any inconsistencies aren't too noticeable in action. Let's go back to normal. So this is a really nice area. You've got the RT on. You can see the shadowing. The extra lighting. Let's turn the RT off. See, that's where the glow from all the lighting bouncing is just completely gone. Just does not look as good, in my opinion. It looks a lot flatter. Turn it back on. Even the extra shadowing around that little shield there just makes it a lot better. Makes it look a lot more present in the scene. And back off. And back on. Just the extra glow from all that lighting looks really, really nice. So again, let's go back to the old school graphics. And we can see here where the lighting system, again, really just does not hold up at all in these low light conditions. Got the horrible banding there through the fog. You got some bloom going on, I think. Some sort of early version of bloom, which helps out with the scene. But, yeah. Old SDR rendering. It just looks very flat and horrible. And then you got the new graphics. And then you got the new graphics with the RT. Again, like I always say with this, it makes the textures look a bit better, makes that look a bit more metallic, a bit more shiny. Yes, these inner areas here are darkened down, darkened shadows around the bodies there. And here we are again, the other side in the original graphics. Again, just, my god, it looks awful. The old lighting system just can't handle it. New graphics, a lot better. And then let's turn the RT off. And you can see the additional glow from the lighting it's adding there, as well as the extra shadowing. Especially that floor there, you can see it's got an extra glow on it from that blue light. And then with the RT off, it's just not present. RT on, and off, and then back on. Okie dokie, so I think I'll take this as the final scene. I don't think High Charity has much more areas than this that are much different. So we'll take this as the final area. Some really nice lighting here. So again, let's do a comparison. Original graphics. And then you got the anniversary graphics. Again, obviously huge improvement. And then the RT on top of that. Again, the extra shading, the extra color, and the extra light glow. Just really, really nice. Especially the glow from that main light in the center there. Just gives the scene a lot of extra color as well. How you'd imagine the light to propagate. Let's check out the lighting channel quickly just so we can see exactly what's going on. The extra shadowing there, you can see around there, around there. The extra lighting and colour. Even with the geometry there around those little bits. Okie dokie, and I think we'll wrap it up there. So that was Halo 2 with even more ray tracing. Again, the details of how to do this are in the description. That links to my previous video where I walk through how to install Reshade and Mighty McFly's ray tracing global illumination shader. Let me know what you think. Let me know if there's any more tweaks you think I should make. Do drop a like and a subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Stay safe, and thanks for watching.